From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, July the 3rd, 2025. IDF troops continue to fight against terror group Hamas in Gaza, as well as thwarting terror in Lebanon. The IDF said today that it eliminated a terrorist in Lebanon responsible for smuggling weapons and advancing terror attacks against Israeli civilians and IDF troops on behalf of the Iranian Quds Force. Also today, the IDF said it hit military sites and weapons storage facilities of terror group Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The commander of CENTCOM, U.S. Central Command, General Michael Kurilla, visited Israel this week as the official guest of IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir. The IDF said Kurilla yesterday participated in a joint panel with Zamir and senior IDF commanders, during which the achievements of Operation Rising Lion and current developments in nearby and distant arenas were reviewed. The IDF saying it places great importance on its relationship and coordination with the U.S. Armed Forces and expresses deep appreciation for the strategic cooperation during the recent operation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today visited kibbutz Nir Oz, one of the kibbutzim brutally attacked during the October 7th Hamas massacre, the Prime Minister's first time at the kibbutz since that dark day. The Times of Israel cited the Prime Minister expressing his deep commitment to return the remaining hostages still held in Gaza and to help rebuild the community of Nir Oz. American-Israeli Idan Alexander, who was freed from Hamas captivity in May of this year after 584 days held hostage by Hamas in Gaza, met today together with his family with President Donald Trump at the White House. And several hostage family members and released hostages met with U.S. officials in Washington yesterday. Former hostages Omer Shemtov and Noah Argamani, Argamani's partner Avinatan Or, still being held by Hamas, Yair Horn, whose brother Eitan is still being held, and Sur Golden, brother of Lieutenant Hadar Golden, whose remains have been held by Hamas since 2014, met with White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who was cited by the Hostage Families Forum, saying, "We will do everything in our power to secure the release of the hostages." The 50 hostages who remain held captive by terror group Hamas in Gaza have now been held for 636 days. Well, a complaint was filed this week on behalf of a Jewish family against a top private elementary school in Virginia. The Louis D. Brandeis Center for Human Rights Under Law and Dillon P. LLC brought the complaint against the Naismith School for, it said, violating the Virginia Human Rights Act. According to the complaint, the Brandeis Center said the school expelled 3 Jewish siblings after their parents notified the headmaster about the severe and relentless anti-Semitic bullying and harassment faced by one of their daughters, aged 11, which included, it said, persistent taunting about the October 7th massacre, calling Jews baby killers, and that they deserve to die because of what is happening in Gaza. Further alleging, after the parents informed the headmaster and nothing was done, the school canceled a Holocaust survivor who was set to speak about anti-Semitism and hung a Palestinian flag in the school's gymnasium. The bullying worsened, and when the parents complained again, 2 days later, all 3 of the children were expelled. The complaint also states that in October of 2024, in their daughter's history class, the teacher asked the students to work together on an art project depicting the attributes of a strong historical leader. The drawing they collaborated on featured the face of Adolf Hitler. Brandeis Center Chair Kenneth Marcus wrote that the school allowed an atmosphere that fostered anti-Semitism, and that through its actions, the administration sent a clear message: bullying is acceptable as long as it's against Jewish families. In addition to action from legal authorities, he said it is high time for public moral outrage. The normalization of anti-Semitism must stop. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, July the 3rd at 7 o'clock. Abigail Pogrebin speaks to author A.J. Jacobs about his experience attempting to live according to the original meaning of the U.S. Constitution for a year. At 7:30, a series of videos about American history, politics, sports, and culture through a Jewish lens, which replays at 10. At 8, Jonah Platt welcomes his mother, Julie Platt, an accomplished Jewish leader and only the second woman in history to serve as chair of the Jewish Federations of North America. At 9, it's Jewish historians Jeffrey Gurak, Jonathan Sarna, and Shuli Rubin Schwartz on L'chaim. At 10:30, an encore of the news, and coming up next, Eric Goldman speaks with filmmaker Amir Kovacs to talk about his animated adventure film, The Book of Joshua, Walls of Jericho. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, July the 3rd, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. I will be back on Monday with the news after the holiday weekend. Wishing you a safe and meaningful 4th of July and an early Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.